Okay, here's a breakdown of the different pages in the Busy Book. The cover I use Seam to Steam, and I'll give a link to how to do that in the post. But I use Steam to Seam to put all of the colored and the letters on. I just free cut them myself, but I guess you could print out a certain font if you wanted. And then I just added buttons, just with some embroidery thread, just added on some buttons so that they're really strong and stuck on there. The first page in the Busy Book is the keys and lock. In the middle I put this ring. It's just one of those binder clip rings. And I put made a little loop of fabric and then just stitched a zigzag stitch a couple times back and forth. That's what I do on most of the things to make it extra strong, since they'll be pulling on it. And then for the keys, I just sewed a little rope up here and tied it to the little keychain. Sewed a rope up here, and then for the lock, I got this at the dollar store, and it already has a groove under here. I don't know if you can see it, but it has a groove under there that's holding the rope in place. So while you're at the dollar store or wherever you get your lock, think about that, how you're going to attach it to the Busy Book. The second page is the magnet page. I sewed two little high-powered, very, very powerful little tiny magnets into this little pouch, stuck the rope inside, and then sewed a couple times back and forth to make it sure that it was stuck in there, and then attached it to the rope and just sewed back and forth on the rope. I probably should have done a zigzag there, but I did a straight one. And for this part, it's a circle, and this is like a thin mesh material, and behind it is white felt so that you can see the marble better, because with the dark you couldn't see it. And I just have it to the magnet. You can grab it and pull it. I sewed once up going this way and once down going that way, so that it kind of made it like a little tiny maze, a very easy maze, but a maze. I also put these two pages next to each other because you can test out the magnet on other parts. You know, it doesn't work on the fabric, works on the metal, that kind of thing. The next page is the buckles, which is Drake's absolute favorite. The buckles. I just got, somebody had these left over from something else, but I know you can get them at the craft store, just buckles by themselves, and they may come with straps, but if they don't, I just took fabric, rolled it into force, sewed down it, and then used it as a loop to go through it, and then just zigzag cut. Zigzag stitch, not cut. Zigzag stitched all along these. So it just buckles and unbuckles. That's a really simple one, but it's a big hit with Drake. This one is fabric shapes. First, I cut out 3 of each shape, and I put the felt square down, and then I put the little scratchy side of the Velcro, and I sewed that on there. And then with this one, I took a piece of this kind of material and put it in between the 2 squares just to give it a little more sturdiness, and then I put the fuzzy side of the felt there, so they matched up. That's what I did with all of these. This one is a big hit, but a bit messy, so think about that if you decide to put this one in. I made a little pen pocket down here, and this is a clicky pencil, just with no lead in it, so that they can click and click without marking up things. I put 2 snaps on these. I used that little hammer thing, and you hammer it down. And I put 2 snaps inside. I made a zipper pouch, and I put this little dollar store calculator. I laminated some pretend money. I put a little mirror that I had that I don't need anymore. Just one of those little snap mirrors, because they love going through my purse. That's why I did this one. And then in the little zipper pouch is these little plastic coins for them to play as if they're playing in my purse, but I don't have to risk all of my stuff. And then it just snaps such. The way I did this one was this. I started with this top one. I sewed a seam at the top and then sewed it about to there. So it actually stops right down there. And then I sewed a line across, and then you start with the next layer, and then the next layer, and then the next layer, and then it ends up being each individual pockets, and they stop at the bottom because you sew each one as you go down. Snap that back. This next page isn't a big hit with Drake, but Caden really likes it. I made these little pockets. First I took a little square and I sewed a little hem at the top, and then I just sewed around, and I used no fray or fray check, whatever it is, around these edges so that I didn't have to worry about the fraying. And they're just little pockets, and I used a zigzag stitch to sew these little felt letters on the front that I freehand cut. And then this rope I sewed across the top with the zigzag stitch several times back and forth because I knew that would be tugged on a lot. And I just put little beads, like bear is for bee, and so you'd sort that into the bee pocket. C is for cat, you'd sort that into the C pocket, and so on. And the B has a lot and C has a lot. For some reason, a lot of things start with those letters, and only one, the fish and the lion, are the L. And then the back is just plain, but I'm sure you could think of something cute to do for the back too. Now the big Busy Book, the front cover, I just did felt. I just freehand cut it and then zigzag stitch, and I put these little eyes on it just to make it cute. This page did not work out, so I'm not going to bother explaining it. It did not work. The felt kept fraying off. This page is a huge hit, but I wish I would have secured them better. What I did here, as you can see on the top, this zigzag stitch here, I just took layers of these cut felt. I didn't cut all the way to the top, so I sewed that one down. You can see the next one is sewn down below that, and the next one is sewn down below that, and just really close together so that they make this fun grass. And you have to use felt because otherwise you're going to have to put fray stuff on all of this. The felt doesn't fray like other fabrics do. And then I put the exact same buttons up here so that he could match them down. To put them on, I just put yarn through and tied it in the back so that you can't see it, but one of them fell off. So either I didn't do a good knot or yarn's not the best choice. So keep that in mind. This is the button page